Good afternoon, everybody, fans and friends alike of PGA DFS. Listen, Eric makes fun of me more than anybody else about my openings to shows and videos, so I had to change it up for everybody here. We are going to Sin City in Vegas, so we do things a little bit differently when we go out there. It is the Shriners Hospital for Children's Open. It is a good one. It's a great cause. And a pretty good field, Eric, that we get to talk about this week. We don't have to worry about picking out Thigala or Mullinax or Zalatoris, who should have won you a lot of money last week, and me included. But we had to settle for just a profitable week. Sadly, we'll get into a little bit of that in just a moment. But before we do, Eric, let's talk about our sponsor of the show, PrizePicks. Now, when I checked earlier, golf wasn't up yet, but I believe it will be up probably by the end of the show if it's not up already. And it's a player prop based contest. And we want to get you started here over there on PrizePicks with a $100 match deposit on your first deposit by using promo code Awesemo and all the games that they've got on over there. Eric, have you played any highlight or disc golf? Because they've got that offered.
Oh, dude, but smash the cricket streets. Like, that's where you want to be. The cricket streaks are there. 21 and a half runs. As Ben Rassa told me, anytime you can play a game that can last a week, you just got to do it. So, I mean, I don't know how long they're playing cricket over there, but I've heard stories. So that you've got disc golf, you've got NBA futures, even if you want to be going that direction, you've got boxing, MMA. There's so many things over at PrizePicks. It's a lot of fun. It wasn't so much fun when my last two on primetime footballs have been 3 of 4s, and I didn't do like the flex play. I just did the got to go 4 of 4. And so we're looking to rebound here on the old PrizePicks.
So that reminds me, just to finish off on PrizePicks, here's what you do. You pick a lineup of 2, 3, 4, or 5 players for their player props based bet. If you get all 5 correct, you can win up to 10x your entry fee. So just to clear that up there. All right, now let's chat a little about what we're going on this week on the PGA Tour. It is the Vegas swing. We've got the Shriners this week, a good field. And then next week is the CJ Cup, 70-man field, something like that, a no cut. So the field is going to be stronger next week by official World Golf ranking standards. Are you more excited for that, or do you like the full field, new names? It's Vegas. I like them both. Where do you
full field every single time, especially on the swing season when, I mean, God, we were all over it last week. Mullinax, Norlander. We just had all of these guys that people aren't going to be playing as much as they probably should be in some of these fields. And we're looking at the same situation here. And because they're playing Vegas back-to-back weeks, you got a lot of big names here. And I think we probably were anyway. TPC Summerlin seems to be a golf course that guys want to get out there for. So we've got a stacked field at the top. We've got some value that exists throughout the AK range. I mean, we're going to have a lot to get to here. It's going to be a lot of fun, though.
Let's talk about TPC Summerlin now. Typically, I've been playing this game, and you have too, probably, in PGA Tour video games since Tiger Woods 2000. I mean,
played it in real life too, but
I'm going to ask you about that then.
It's private, actually, which is strange because most TPC courses are public access. You're able to get at. This one's actually private.
Bucks, yeah. So tell me then, why does it go from, say, a middle of the road easiest course on tour to one of the top 3 easiest last year? Driving accuracy was way up. What do you think it is? Did they overseed? Did they extend the fairways? What made the course so much easier last year than in years past?
I don't know. I mean, for me, it seems like playing in Vegas. So a lot of the golf courses are Bermuda grass and then bent greens, which is kind of a strange combination. Sure. You do get some of those kind of combinations out here in LA, where I believe at Riviera, you have like bent grass tee boxes. You've got Kikuya everywhere, and then you've got Poana on the greens. So there's an interesting mix playing Vegas golf. I've played a lot of golf out there, obviously, just throughout the last 10, 12 years, living out in Los Angeles. You end up going out there for games a lot, member guest stuff. And it just seems like, for the most part, when it's watered, when it's wet out there, when they overwater it a little bit, or when you get some of these cooler conditions where it doesn't bake out, you can just get after it on a golf course like this. It's just a lot of wedges. There's really not a ton of imposing golf shots where you're really worried about it. For me, if it's windy out there, which once in a while it kicks up in Vegas, it can get really, really interesting, but doesn't look like we're going to have that happen same way that it did last year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, driving accuracy over 70%, but on top of that, you had driving distance average over 300 yards. You really just don't find that combination basically anywhere else on tour. Mm-hmm. And when then you throw in the fact that it's a par 71, 7,300 yards, it's not long. There's only one, maybe two par fours that are over 450 yards. So like you said, a wedge fest, and that led again to one of the best average scores last year. So let's talk anything else you want to say about the course. You've played it. It seems like there's not a lot of trouble. Maybe that's another reason. Not a lot of double bogeys out there.
I just want to throw this out there because I think it's a fun thing. Obviously got all my research in this morning. And do you know what the cut was last year?
It was probably like -7.
It was 7 under.
Yeah.
The cut was 7 under.
Ridiculous.
At this golf course. I mean, that is
if you hated the -5 cut last week, wait until this week, basically.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm sure there's going to be that one guy who, you know, you look at it, shoot 69, 69 is packing the bags. It's not a great feeling. 68, 68, you're packing bags.
It's last year. Yeah.
So whatever. It's going to be interesting. You need to have guys who are just striping it. You need them to also make putts. It's going to get really, really interesting. This is a very gettable golf course, but it doesn't make it any less fun.
No, totally agree. And I got a couple of questions exactly on what you just said coming up when we talk about our high rollers. But before we do, we'll talk a little bit about Shriners first. 144 players, I believe. I don't think they got this one up to 156, did they? We're running out of daylight anyway. Even
no,
in Vegas,
I don't think so.
So 4 open qualifiers. Went to 3 Korn Ferry Tour grads. Jared Wolf shot 60. Brandon Wu, who missed on the number when he posted 4 under. I'm like, oh, we got him through. He shot 62. Alex Smalley, who shot 4 over day 1 and shot 63 day 2 to make the cut last week. He Monday qualified. And then the last name, saw it going around Twitter a bit. Jin Jong. You know anything about this guy? I guess he won the amateur championship years ago, but has struggled for, call it 10 years on the professional tour. So no interest there for me, but thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah, no, bring up all these guys. And I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know why I've never brought it up before, but one of the reasons that I know a lot of these guys, you guys have never probably heard of before until we bring them up on shows. Monday Q Info on Twitter is one of the best follows, period. It's actually a buddy of my best friend from back in his days of grinding mini tours. My best friend, Matt Pretty. He lives up north now, but him and this guy are really good friends. And Monday Q Info, he gives you all the information. If you want to know how impossible it is to be a professional golfer, just hear some stories and check this out. Think of how many, I believe it was like 20, something like 25 people shot 64 or better. And only 4 guys got in from this. It's
so
like
he was
the dumbest stuff ever.
He was carrying from Mark Baldwin, who shot 6 under, 66 bogey free, and didn't even sniff the top 15 of the event, I think. So
trunk slamming is what we call it.
Yeah, just unbelievable, unlucky. That's what it takes to be good in professional golf nowadays, though. Okay, that's pretty good field. 15 of the top 30 in the world are here. Only 1 in the top 10, however, as we roll into our high rollers, if you will. We are in Vegas this week, so we'll try and go with a Vegas theme. I got lambasted last week for trying to match up Sanderson Farms, so I thought I'd go a little bit easier here and find our Vegas tie-ins. But before we do, let's talk about a little bit of what we have behind the curtain, Eric, especially here for our PGA DFS fans. See, I told you.
PGA DFS golf fans.
I told you I'd work it in there for you at least once in the show. But our Pro Plays, that's honestly my favorite tool, and here's why. Very simple. If you're not able to research, say, the whole week, but you want to play GPP, you still want to put in those 150 entries, come in, get the rankings, GPP rankings for every single expert we've got up here. You want Alex, you want mine, you want Eric's. How about Ben's, Jeff's, Steve's? We got them all. Check out our Pro Plays tool as part of our Awesemo Plus package. Just $8.95 for the week. And use promo code PGA DFS Strategy Show. Jordan
PGA DFS Strategy Show.
I love it. Jordan will put that link in there. 25% off your first week of Awesemo Plus Platinum there. So just wanted to give you a little tidbit. Eric, do you agree with me on the Pro Plays, or is there something else you turn to as part of our premium plays here?
First of all, it allows you, I can show you the receipts from last week, which was just an absolute smash. It's fun to be able to just group it and show you my exposure. There's places you can find that, but I mean, for the most part, you're going to find them before they go out, which is the important part, before everything locks. That's what you need. For me, it's so great to compare my player pool to Alex, to you, to Steve, to Ben. Being able to do that as kind of a double check to make sure that there's nothing I am way off base about, or to just kind of be like, well, these are where the sharpest players in the world are going, period. that's a great tool to be able to utilize every single week. And they're so on top of updating it. I'm usually the last guy to be throwing them in right before it going on the PGA Live before lock, but there's no way around it. If you want to get better at PGA DFS, get the pro plays, because they will just they can give you the keys to what you need to know every single week.
Sure can. And of course, don't forget, like and subscribe. Greg in our channel, we might have to put him on payroll here. He's letting everybody know in chat, doing our job for us. So thanks for that. All right, now let's talk about some high rollers. And you just brought up the thing about making enough putts. So I actually want to start off by talking about Viktor Hovland. I think he's pretty clear that in the 2 years he's been on tour, 2.5, he is the best, one of the best, top 5 best ball striker. I'll let you tell me what you think there. But can he make enough putts in this tournament to win it?
I mean, what is it? So the FedEx St. Jude was minus 0.1, but otherwise the guy has been over 3.8 strokes gained tee to green in his last 9 events. And that doesn't count an open, where I can guarantee you he was gaining strokes tee to green with that 12th place finish. I mean, the guy, I don't care. I mean, he is such a pure ball striker. He's now lost in 5 consecutive that we have strokes gained data for. So yeah, he's probably somebody that I'm a little concerned about, but God, it's still hard not to like getting to him in some of these spots. If he putts flat at any point, you're going to need him. And then these times where he's gaining strokes, the Valspar, Wells Fargo, it's like automatic top 3, and it doesn't matter who's in the field.
So true. We saw last week what tee to green can do. Obviously, Sam Burns was about a stroke better than everybody else. And he's definitely your dude, playing some very inspired golf. His Twitter game tried to tell us, as did you last week. So let's talk about Brooks Koepka before we talk about Burns, though. He's been feast or famine here. It's basically, it's pretty clear, actually. If he's in contention by Friday afternoon, expect a top 5. If he's not, expect a miscut. I think it's pretty simple. So with the highest priced golfer in the field, what ownership do you want to be playing him at this week?
Oh, God.
I know that's a little different one, but.
Yeah, I'm not a Brooks guy as it is, but he's sub 5% in our first run of ownership that we had. That was an interesting thing. I knew it was going to be low. I didn't expect it to be sub 5%. There's this little subsect of the PGA DFS community that just is obsessed with Brooks Koepka. There's a group that will just play him every single time. We kind of know who those guys are, especially like in your tier and like more of the high stakes stuff for sure. You know, the $200 single entry, you can basically build certain people's lineups for them week in, week out. It doesn't really matter where the tournament is. I could probably put them together, but Brooks Koepka, I think in large field stuff, it's going to start creeping up, because you're going to hear a lot of people be like, well, it's Brooks Koepka, multiple time major winner, the class of the field, if you just look at resume. But I don't know how interested he probably is in this spot. And last time I said that, he went out to Connecticut, I know, and he played really, really well and kind of burned me there. But at the same time, I mean, if he's going to be under 5%, I'll have a little bit. But I mean, if that thing starts tracking up, there's just no way that at 11-1, I want to get to him over the rest of the 10K range.
Yeah, as we talk about Koepka, I button up my buttons here, because you never know if he's listening, he could challenge us to a fight, which begs me to my next question. There's like news coming out about him and DeChambeau. Did it come out yet? Did I miss it? George Savaricas of the Golf Channel teased tweet and said news coming pending Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka later. So we'll have to see about that. I don't know.
Oh, that would be unbelievable.
I know. Like, a little celebrity boxing match or something.
It would be, honestly,
I
would care more about that than I would care about any, it would be like Masters, US Open, that fight, PGA Championship, Open Championship for next year.
Interesting. Well,
okay, that's a bad take, but you know what I mean. It would be amazing.
Let's go to Sam Burns. That's probably a better take for you than that one. Got a question. Simple. Does he burn the Millie, or does he win another one?
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah.
You must be a second-time father, because that was like dad joke times 2. Good God. Sam Burns. He's my boy. Like, I think everybody knows that he's my boy.
But seriously, can he go back to back though? Can he pull Brendan Todd?
I mean, it's half Bermuda, if we want to talk about it that way. It's tees, fairways, Bermuda, rough Bermuda. I don't really think that matters nearly as much as the putting, but on this bent grass, we'll see. He's obviously hitting the ball like an absolute Jesse, so that's a plus. I got to be thinking Sam Burns 10-9. Again, another guy where I'm just kind of watching what the ownership does, because I think everybody can have a case made for them. he's going to be under 10%, you best believe I'm going to be double the field on that. But
yeah, not only highest or one of the highest priced golfers, but coming off a win. And we know the propensity to play players coming off a win is small, especially in the DFS community. So
which is probably the correct take to have most of the time, especially if it's a first time winner. But I mean, this kid has won twice now. He's a player, and he always has been a player. I just remember that round of golf where he beat Tiger Woods straight up the first time that they played together. Do you remember that in Florida?
Yeah, at the Arnold Palmer. Yeah, I was there.
I love that you're just like a golf fan too. Because like for me, PGA DFS and golf, like everything intersects at a certain point. But being a golf fan, stuff like that is the kind of things I remember. And like he just handled himself really well. He had a great composure. I think he's always had the golf game, and now everything's starting to line up. He lost 2 strokes putting last week. Did you know that?
And still, what I would call blitz the field, because if he matches the field in putting, he wins by what is it, 8, something like that. So yeah.
So I'm saying I'm going to have a ton of him in the event that he's going to be under 10%. You best believe it.
Abraham Ancer, as we move on from Burns, I think again. All right, for our fans here, let's do this before we get away from the top 3 guys: Koepka, Burns, Hovland. Rank them for me based on our projected ownership right now, which is a little behind the curtain. Koepka about 8, or no, Koepka about 4.5, Burns about 8, Hovland is about 20.
Burns, Hovland, Koepka.
Okay, in that order. Good. Got it.
But again, this is maybe just an internal bias about Koepka, and I've recognized it in years past. Like I was able to get onto enough of him at the US Open this year. There's times where, and that was after he crawled up those stairs and then freaked me out. And I went from having a ton of him to still having a little bit of him. So it wasn't completely brutal when he played really well out there. Also, just that is so tilting. I'm now even madder at Brooks Koepka, even just thinking about it. But he's sub 5%, and it's Brooks Koepka. And out of name recognition alone, he should be higher on than that. Maybe it's a price thing at 11-1 where it's just more difficult to get the builds. But the 8K range, which we're going to get to, is just so loaded that there really aren't words for it. So like, it's probably pretty easy if you want to go Koepka bunch of the 8K range and then punt with 1 or 2. Like it shouldn't be a terribly hard build with him. I'll have more than the 5%, but I still got to be thinking Sam Burns. I'm forever linked to him. Victor Hovland is just a ball striking monster. So we should continue riding that here. And then Koepka, I mean, if he's interested, there's no question he's got win equity, but he could finish 6th or 7th and you still probably wouldn't need him.
Yeah, it's true. I'm pretty much in line. I think for me, I looked at the betting markets and it's like, should I just bet Koepka top 5 and not worry about it? Because he's either going to miscut or top 5, and he's also going to be sub 5% owned. So I don't really have to take the risk of him missing the cut and not caring and being at excess by the time, Brendan Wu tees off for his second round, which is definitely possible at this point. Excess is still around, right? I'm not dating myself by saying that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. For me,
or I could say Dre's by the time Brendan Wu tees off for his second round, if we want to go that route, right?
Keep going.
Let's see. That's in Billy's. That's one of my best ones. I love that place. If I go to Vegas, that's where I'm going. I'm not going to lie to you. Have you ever been?
No.
Really? Oh,
to
man.
Where?
To Dre's. It's in Billy's. It's an after hours club. It's one of
This is a family show, Jason.
Oh, sorry. Anyways, moving on from that then to Abraham Ancer, who maybe the answer. Oh, that's my second dad joke. We're going to cut that one. But strokes gained putting here a couple of years ago, which is his problem, propelled him into the top 5, but also a miscut. A lot of variability amongst the better players at this field, which doesn't surprise me. So where do you rank Abraham Ancer? Highest price I have ever seen him in on DraftKings.
Don't care. He deserves it. He's 10-4, under 15%. He's my second favorite in this 10K range. I think just kind of looking at Webb Simpson, and I know, again, this is going against the boss man and Buzzard. You want to talk about being able to build a lineup for somebody. I mean, what are the chances that Webb Simpson isn't in like 30% of their lineups this week?
Yeah, got to be
0.
But let me ask you, is he in play for you this week? Because he is for me. 10-2, 4 of the last 5 in the top 20. Hasn't missed a cut here. Well, I only go back to 2015 because I don't know. That's just my arbitrary date that I go back to. Hasn't missed a cut, a couple of top 10s. I mean, he's giving you everything you'd want, especially to start a cash lineup with, at least in my opinion.
Well, and also the weakest part of his game for me has always been off the tee. And if you just neutralize it at this place, if it doesn't matter, if it's going to be irrelevant, give me Webb Simpson because I think he's probably the most underrated putter. The guy gets these spiked weeks. He was on a crazy run at the beginning of this year with the putter as well. It was hit and miss over the summer, but like long term, when he's rolling, it is really hard to stop this guy. So I think 10-2, I'll definitely have a little as well, but we're talking about Ancer, and Ancer for me is going to be somebody that I'm definitely over the field on. And there's really nothing that could change it. His ownership can move to 20% and I wouldn't care. I mean, this is going to be more of a second shot type golf course for me where I'm identifying that. And if we're going to be looking at that being kind of the litmus test for what we want to do with the rest of our lineup, like give me all the Abraham Ancer in the world.
Typically you'd probably expect in a really good scoring week that, putting dominates the top 10. But if you look at last year's leaderboard with Martin Laird winning it, strokes gained on the approach was almost double that of every other statistical category.
He's also the worst putter ever, though.
No, yeah, I know he is. But it just goes to show that this golf course is really a second shot course. You want to favor guys that are good on their approach. So is Willie Zalatoris in your player pool? 10-1, shot the 61 last week. Not getting a ton of love. I like him and Simpson. I think they're the same person, just reincarnated. So might as well play both of them.
Because they both went to Wake Forest and they both putt with that weird wand thing.
They're both like the same height. They both have similar hairstyles. If you look at Webb when he was
kind of similar mannerisms, now that you bring it up too, they kind of like walk a little quick and do the thing. Okay. I see the comps. I mean, there's a lot that we can actually comp between them, but the one thing that we know is that you're going to get a bunch of strokes gained tee to green here from him. That's just what he does.
And can he putt? Can he match the field in putting?
Yeah. That's I mean, Sanderson last week, it's very strange looking at that, but that's what you get in some of these shootouts. You can gain strokes putting on the field, and, you shoot 61, you're probably going to be gaining a lot of putts in that round specifically. But I think that one round might be kind of swaying a little bit of what you're thinking there more so. I'm probably not going to get to Will a whole lot in this spot. I expect his ownership also to come up. Like, let's be serious.
He gained 5 strokes just in round 2.
I know and that's what I'm saying. It's a problem. It's such an outlier round. And I always try to identify guys who have like a bad Sunday, and then you can kind of like buy back in at a low point just because of one bad round. Don't buy in because of somebody having one good round. And I think that definitely inflated his look for the entire tournament.
It did. And it's probably when you look at the strokes gained putting from last week and see that he was positive, you think, oh, he had a good putting week. In reality, he had one good day. Still, am I interested? Yes. Tee to green. He, along with this next guy, are on my short list. I mean, they're probably on everybody's short list of first-time winners we expect this year. I must have missed something in chat because you're smiling, and I didn't say
Jason has to be confused here without Cantley. That was fantastic. That's gold from Spaz Bite.
I'm a little confused at why Cantley is not here. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. But okay.
Sweat.
Scotty Scheffler or Will Zalatoris, who gets a win first, and who is better to win here, better suited to win here?
God, Scotty Scheffler is really bad at putting. But he's probably worse. He's probably worse at putting than Will Z with his little stick.
You think?
Yeah.
I think it's close. I think they both get hot. So
I could just look at it. Yeah, no, I should probably answer your question here in a second, but I'm going to look in this field 80th in terms of strokes gained putting for for Scotty Scheffler. I combined them.
Will Scheffler. Yeah, let's just combine the guys. They're
whatever. Scotty Scheffler 80 and 93rd for Will Z. All right. So there you go. That's good times. I like Scotty Scheffler probably to win first, and I can probably tell you it's going to be in Texas at some point in time. I don't know. That's kind of where my brain goes. I feel like he'll win something random there. The Byron Nelson, the Valspar, maybe. And like
Valspar's not in Texas, but
I know it's not, but I'm just thinking like that kind of swing of the season, like in the March, April, May kind of swing. I don't know what I'm getting at here, but I know for a fact that I'll have a little bit more Scotty Scheffler because I just kind of like his ability to top 10 a little bit more. Will Z, I mean, I do think that there's a little bit of a bias from what we saw at the Masters, and there's no question his ball striking is immaculate. He's incredible, but just doesn't seem like he finishes off tournaments as well as you want for a guy in that range. You get Scotty Scheffler for cheaper, so I'm going to probably just do that.
All right. So two more guys that I want to bring up, then I'll ask you a couple of questions. First, Louis, lowest ranked player in the field, but has definitely regressed since that second place at the 3M Open where, everybody had him in the card, everybody had him to win, and the whole industry was basically let down off of it. And Hideki Matsuyama, who definitely, surprised me at the Safeway, probably surprised a decent amount of people, was never in that tournament and ends up with a top 10. So of those two guys, do you want to play either this week? And then we'll get the overarching theme of the high rollers.
Yeah, so Hideki, I'm going to play Hideki a lot here. Okay. I think Hideki makes a lot of sense as well. I mean, are we going to just play all the bad putters in the world at an event where people need to go low? Is that what we're looking at doing? Because there's just so many bad putters up here, but I think it makes sense. It's going to be a second shot golf course. Give me Hideki for sure.
Okay. So I'll give you two sets of questions. We're making one lineup this week. Anybody that they just want to make one. Who are you starting with from these high rollers? Are you starting with two of them? Or are you loving the AK so much you're just going to put in either Burns or Ancer or even Scheffler and go down to the AKs for the rest?
Yeah, Burns, Ancer, Burns, Louis, Burns, Hideki. Something in that kind of vein is going to be a lot of what I do with my lineups, I'm sure. Just kind of looking at the way that it pans out right now. But what are you going to be doing? Because I feel like some of the builds that I've been doing where I play two guys in the 10K range, they're not my favorite because then you basically get one player from the 8K range. But I think I'll probably go 10, 9, 8 in that kind of direction, get two from the 8 and then punt. But what are you looking at doing?
Yeah, so I mentioned that I'm buying into Webb Simpson. I don't know if that's going to be my highest allocation. Probably not, because we haven't gotten a top 10. While we've gotten good starts, we haven't. I think it's 7th place finishes is his best. So we have gotten one top 10, I should say. Correct myself there. I have such a propensity to click Hovland's name because I feel like I'm getting that same type of consistency, except not with the putter, just with the ball striking. Seems like chalkier place. So I'm going to need to diversify. I'll try and use, like you and I have been saying, the picks from that nobody wants to play yet. I'll try and match those with the higher owned guys. Probably going to stay away from Koepka here because of that boom bust. I can't be having 11K of my salary go to a guy that could very well be, at the table games, by 3:00 Friday afternoon. I don't want that. I want at least the ability to say, okay, he's going to give me two really solid rounds, whether he makes the cut or not. I think I get that with Hovland Simpson. If I'm going to play two guys up here.
I'm curious. I haven't looked at the missed cut odds, but I'm curious what Koepka's is in relation to the next 10 players in salary.
Great.
Because I feel like Koepka would be the one I would want to bet out of everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Just look at his stats here. I mean, he's 3 for 5 and missing the cut. And the two ones he did, he was 2nd and 4th. So it just goes to show you what Koepka does. All right. I also do like Scotty Scheffler. I think a win is coming. It could be here if he gets a hot putting week. So I'll definitely play him quite a bit. Now move on to our table games, which of course you see in almost every casino out there and the bulk of what you do see in the casinos out there. So that's why we'll talk about golfers that'll take up most of our lineups. Up at the top in this range is a couple of guys I'm fading though. However, Harris English, Kevin Na, not for me. I would rather go down or go up and fade those two plus 20% owned guys. Are you with me? Or is an informed Kevin Na after a Ryder Cup snub going to win?
His ownership
and keep it up. Yeah, I mean, we're on the Sam Burns realm, right? We mentioned it last week how he felt snubbed. So Kevin Na, Billy Horschel won, right? He felt snubbed. Kevin Na is kind of the only one left out. Him and Patrick Reed, who are both in the field this week.
I don't know what to do with Kevin Na. First of all, it's my fiance's favorite golfer on planet Earth. If I were to win a GPP with Kevin Na,
that'd be the end of the day. It
would be the greatest moment of her life for
retire.
Sure. Retire. She just thinks he has the cutest family on planet Earth, and probably true. Little girl's very cute, but anyway, they're a lovely little family, and his wife is just gorgeous. I'm going to move on now. Kevin Na is just playing out of his mind. He also gained 14 strokes when he won here in 2019 with the putter. I don't think that that's going to be something that we can kind of look at him replicating, but
never do again.
If you want to play a golf tournament where basically you can just give somebody a second, like playing from 150 and in, Kevin Na also has to be on your short list with Webb Simpson, with other guys that just can kind of get the ball in the hole. And we know how outrageous he is around the greens and then with the putter. So I'm going to get to a little bit of Kevin Na, but there's I think there's about 0% chance that I'm going to get any substantial amount close to the field, just because that is an out of control number.
Harris English in the same boat for you?
Probably 20% plus. I mean, you're looking at him, and Na. And I mean, how would you rank those three? I mean, I would go Na, English, but like, I don't really want to get to a bunch of any of them, because that's 60% of the field there that you're looking at involved in those three. Actually, more than that, 65% basically on those three plays. And I'd rather scattershot the rest of the range in 8K, where I'm getting depressed ownership.
And this thing with Ben, before they got you on the show and Ben started doing some college football stuff, which every Wednesday Betting You podcast new comes out. That's why he's not doing this show with me right now. I understand, but at least we get his best college football takes. Him and Matt do a great job. Check that out. Our podcast.
It's good times. 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 See there, that's the over. I had to play a little game there quick. It was fun. 6. How about that, Jordan Klein? You don't know what's going on, but I love you. Okay. Keep going.
Well, we're going to keep going with it anyways. What I would say to Ben would be Scotty Scheffler and Sung Jae Im. I've got their career paths on almost identical trajectories. I had this thing where it's like, play the not lower owned one, the lower salary one. Then I went to the lower owned one. And now it's a little dispersion. Scotty's definitely played better than Sung Jae. I was more apt to play Sung Jae last week in a field where not many people were there, and T31 could have, at least got me to the cash line. But this week, high owned 9,200. I think I would rather just pay up $500 and get Scheffler if I'm comparing the two. And if not, I'd rather go down to a couple of the other guys that we're going to mention right now, like, for example, Adam Scott, Joaquin Niemann, Corey Connors. I'd rather play all three of those guys over Sung Jae this week.
I'm right there with you. I am obsessed with the 8K range. It's going to be ridiculous. And I mean, I'm obsessed partially because of ownership reasons. Other than Paul Casey there, who is coming in also crazy owned, and Corey Connors, you get to Kokrak, who, made his breakthrough win in Vegas. Similar grass type, different golf course, but Shadow Creek. Patrick Reed, 8,600. He's coming in with some steam, but not over 20%. I don't want to play Tringali, so we'll just skip him. Adam Scott, oh my God.
Ever. I think you need to put that on there. Just, we'd never want to play him. I don't think the last time I
finished 11th and he didn't finish optimally. So, I mean, let's just not play Cameron Tringali and just kind of move on with our lives. Adam Scott, 8,400. Yes. Joaquin Niemann. Yes. Matthew Wolff. I might actually play some Matthew Wolff.
I'm all over Wolff this week.
First time in my life that I've ever said I want to play Matthew Wolff. And I think I played him at the 3M with nobody else there.
So what is triggering you to play him this week? Is it the off the tee game that all of a sudden looks like he can keep it on planet Earth, or at least within Mars and Earth?
So here's kind of the thinking of it. So he played really well here last year, but he had the same kind of thing that happened with Will Z there. He shot 61 in that third round. Kind of made it look a lot better than what it was, but he ended up getting into the 3-man playoff there and lost to Martin Laird there. And it would have changed the complexion of the way that we even view Matthew Wolff here if he had gotten a W here. So I'm thinking Matthew Wolff is going to be somebody that right now is a buy low candidate in a place that he's obviously comfortable with. We don't have to worry about some of the squirrely golf shots, which we kind of see. And for me, here's kind of the weird thing. And I think you'll be able to look at this more as an actual golfer in the same way that I do. He hit a ton of 3-woods, because I can remember that final round. He hit 3-wood off a bunch of tee boxes. And the difference on a golf course where he doesn't have to be pulling driver on some of these tight holes and he's just able to hit 3-woods and pipe it, he hits in an absolute mile. And it just looks like he was very comfortable on this golf course in a way that I haven't seen Matthew Wolff comfortable like since then. So for me, it's almost just like remembering that final round, watching it and being like, all right, if he's going to be sub 7%, sub 6%, this is the time to get involved with somebody who has good vibes. And the last time we really saw him happy on a golf course, which is a weird analysis point, was at this golf tournament.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, last week it looked better. So just more to what you're saying. But what about something like Siwoo Kim, 8th place here last year, 15th year before that, coming in off of good form? Is he going to steal some ownership away from, say, the Matt Wolff, Adam Scott range for you?
Man, we are going to just play the worst putters in the world.
And I got one more going in there too. Don't you worry.
Oh, don't worry. All right. Well, cool. Well, put him on the list.
Maybe the worst putter there is.
Here's the thing. This isn't a terribly hard golf course to make putts on. Just from having played there, it's pretty benign.
It looks that way by the stats. Yeah,
it is very, very benign. And I was rolling putts in there. So, I mean, I can't imagine a PGA Tour player who could murder me and absolutely make me look like an idiot. So I'm going to be playing a lot of Siwoo, I think, as well, purely because, again, a guy at 9K, ball striking Jesse, under 10%. Nobody else wants to click on him. I probably will in large field stuff. Won't be a part. I can guarantee you I will not have any of him in any like 3 max setting, 20 max setting, but in my large field stuff, absolutely.
Reason why I brought up bad putters is I really do think that there's evidence to this, that Lucas Glover possibly has the worst reactions to a bad putter, or worse things happen to him being a bad putter, but it hasn't mattered here. And that's maybe why we want to play bad putters. He's the only golfer in the field with 3 top 10s here since 2014, Eric. So I know I'm jumping down the board all the way to 7,000. You brought up bad putters. Is Lucas Glover also one of those guys you're going to play?
I mean, is his wife happy with him?
It's kind of what I alluded to, but this is a family show. So I didn't, as you told me already today.
Touche. You are learning, my friend. We got to toe the line. We can once in a while put one foot across it, but we got to bring it back. But yeah, if he's in good favor with his wife, we'll send a tweet, or we'll figure out some way to see how they're doing. But sure, why not have a share or two? But yeah, no, he won't be probably in my pool.
Okay, fair enough. Corey Connors, we talked about a little bit, higher owned. However, the stability he's giving you, if you're playing cash, is that the only place you want to play him, or are you going to have some GPP lineups as well?
So I'm thinking about playing cash simply because, guys like Kevin Na and that entire lower 9K range, just kind of getting my exposure through that direction and then going elsewhere. Cause I think even in cash game formats, 50-50 stuff like that, you could be looking at kind of hedging yourself out of some really uncomfortable decisions just by having a cash lineup and playing something optimal that looks pretty good down there in the bottom 9K range. So I think that's probably a good idea. I might do that this week. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how much time I have here. I guess NFL, it's kind of getting lax now without MLB season, without having like a 13-14 game Tuesday to be looking at. My schedule feels pretty free. So maybe I'll be putting together some cash in addition to, firing all my GPP stuff like I always do.
Red Sox or Yankees today? Who are you rooting for?
Who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for them to tie and to play for 15 hours and be miserable so they get absolutely thrashed in the first round. But in reality, I think Boston wins, but we shall see.
Okay. Good talk.
Garrett Cole, 15 runs in his last 3 outings. I don't know what's going on.
And it's Chris Sale, right?
I love that you just said Sale.
Yeah,
that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That's what we call him in Boston, right?
What?
Yeah, isn't that how they call him on the talk radios up there and everything?
That'd be hilarious. I've never heard that before. Never heard that pronunciation in my life. But you might also be on the ends of some weird stuff that I don't know about.
Well, I used to listen to a lot of talk radio up there when I lived there. But beside the point, I'm obviously rooting for the Red Sox myself. Okay, getting back to golfers now. We talked about Lucas Glover, which, I didn't really expect, but then you brought up bad putters and I had to go there.
Yep.
Let's go back to the 8K range. You breezed over Adam Scott. Talk to me about your thinking with him. I like him, under-owned. He doesn't play much golf. I don't really care that he went to UNLV for 1 year, but I thought I'd tell you anyway.
Yeah, well, it can't be a bad thing that he's familiar, that he's been there for a long time, that he's going to be spending 2 weeks there with the CJ Cup coming up next week. I'm assuming he's in that event, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah, I would assume as well. So there's that. And it's a golfer with a crazy amount of upside. Last time that we saw him outside of the Northern Trust, where I don't really care. That was one bad week. The Wyndham, second there, just his strokes again approach can get off the chain. We've seen spiked weeks of 6.9, 7.2, 6.8. And every time that kind of stuff happens, he goes nuts. Of course, the putter has been so much better. I mean, that's really the main highlighted point that I have with Adam Scott is that out of his last 7 tournaments, he's gained strokes putting in 6. Can he be serviceable? And off the tee has not been nearly the weapon that it's been in the past for him.
That was going to be my question. Yeah.
I think just if we're going to neutralize that, everything else is just more complete than it's been in a long time. It's got to be relative to the way that other people in the field like him, and doesn't seem like he's going to gain any traction. He's popping in our projections. He's under 10%. He just kind of feels like something where every check on the entire checklist is checked. I don't know a better way of saying that.
I can follow along with
Thank you
for a little bit.
That was really bad. I apologize.
It's all right. It's all right. We're going to let it slide. Eric Van ruining my lineup quite a bit, except for the last little bit of the season.
It's a bad one.
No, come on. That's one of my better
Actually, that one's better than the Burns and the other whatever it was.
Yeah, the Van ruining a lineup is one of my better ones. I haven't used that with you, so I thought I'd bust it out today since we're on that path. I think the regression happens, though. I mean, we went on a fantastic run of golf, did Van Rooyen and his backers. At 8,000 and close to 20% owned, I'll take Aaron Wise right below him. I'll take Mito Pereira right below him. I'll take Russell Henley right below him. Plenty of guys. I'm on the fade train. Are you joining me there, or are you going the opposite way?
I am going the opposite way. I'm probably going to be on him in some kind of a way. Okay. That's another weird way of putting it. But yeah, 8K for him, 8,100 for Charlie Hoffman. At this bottom of the 8K range, I mean, EVR, it just turned on. Like it was like a light switch. It's so weird because we knew he had a ton of talent coming out of Minnesota. We knew that he could kind of pop, and we had seen it from time like WGC events and other times. It just never really was that consistent. And it was nice to see him finally put it together at the end of this season. I'm going to keep riding the wave. You know, I wish he hadn't just turned it on at Tahoe where, you know, it was in a contest you could really enter or get much action for. But I like getting to him in this tournament for sure.
Okay. I'm out. Like I said, I would much rather play those host of characters below him. Those host of characters below him that I've already mentioned include Wise, Pereira, Henley. Of those three, do you like any more than Van Rooyen? If you're playing a one lineup type of thing, would any of them be in it over Eric?
I mean, Henley and Wise are much lower owned. I would have to see how chalky the rest of my lineup was. I mean, if you just say pick one of those three, I'm going to take Russell Henley just at their current ownership. But EVR would be my favorite straight up play of the three. Okay. I don't know. Aaron Wise, I don't really know how I'm going to start figuring out what to do with this guy. He didn't play bad last week. Top 30, I believe 26th. He was all right. He did not play well on Sunday. 72. You're getting lapped by the field in that spot. So maybe he's another buy low candidate where he's kind of falling through the cracks. I'm sure I'm going to do a show with Ben tomorrow, and I'm sure he's going to go on about the ways that we need to reinvest in Aaron Wise. And because he's an Oregon Duck, I kind of am biased towards him a little bit too as well, marrying into a Duck family. So I might as well fire up some Aaron Wise.
Guillermo Mito Pereira. Is he going to be in your play pool this week?
Oh, the Fizz just threw Aaron Wise as a Wise pick. So he's obviously been listening to the show.
Oh, man. How did I miss that one?
I don't know.
Darn
Honestly,
it.
You check yourself before you wreck yourself. Who are we talking about?
Guillermo Mito Pereira.
Guillermo. Anybody who watches What We Do in the Shadows, that's so good. Guillermo. No, you don't?
No. What show is this?
What We Do in the Shadows. It's a vampire documentary comedy. You need to watch it now.
I'll put it on the list, actually. Okay, that doesn't sound that bad.
You will love it. Okay. If anybody's going to love it, you're going to... I can already see you laughing hysterically on the couch, and it's kind of freaking me out. But yeah, no, I'm not going to play him in real life in DFS.
Okay. How come? You think the run is done or too much ownership in price?
Too much ownership. I already have enough chalky players in my lineup that I'm going to be playing at 11% in this range. I mean, there's nobody, I believe, over 11% underneath him the rest of the way, the entire board. So if you get anybody underneath, and we're going to talk about one guy that actually the one guy that I like the most is way more popular. He's 200 less down there. Maverick McNealy. He's chalky and he should be.
Yeah. Before we get to McNealy, I want to give a shout out to Tom Jacobs on Twitter for touting Danny Willett last week at the Alfred Dunhill. 100 to 1 winner there. You got to love it. Sometimes stats don't tell it all, or finishes, I should say, tell it all. That's kind of the theme I'm going with Aaron Wise this week. I think he's playing much better than when he's finishing. It means I think we're on the verge of something. However, Danny Willett, obviously off a big-time win. That's what the guy does, wins and then goes away. Is this an event where you want to continue the hot streak, or are you out on Willett?
Probably out on him. It's a long way over. And also, how can we possibly comp this golf course to what he just played over there? I mean,
polar opposites, huh?
Like, they're not even on the same stratosphere. I guess they're probably both. I mean, St. Andrews looks like one of the easier golf courses to drive a golf ball until the end, like towards the back nine. There's a couple of super wide fairways. There's also a lot of trouble you can get in there, I suppose. But yeah, I don't really know how to comp the two. He's just flown over from Skyline. I'm sure he had some fun with whoever his amateur partner was after that round and after getting the W there. But I'm probably not going to be playing him.
Okay. I think that's fine and fair. How about as we move down? Oh, you want to talk about McNealy?
Yeah, I do.
Guy's just playing great golf.
He's just good.
He's just good.
He's just good. And I've been playing him forever. And so I don't know I would stop. I mean, you have your favorite players. It's like playing roulette. If we're going to have a Vegas analogy, it's like roulette. You have your favorite numbers. For me, I want to hit 4. I want to hit 19. I want to hit 23. I want to hit 33. Those are my 4 numbers.
Yeah.
23. Those are my 4 numbers. And sometimes we have the same number. Maverick McNealy, are we playing the same number on the roulette spin?
Okay.
Jordan Klein liked that one a lot.
Yeah, he did.
Jordan Klein liked that a lot.
I think he likes roulette, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But we would definitely be playing on 23 roulette together, no doubt about it. I have my same numbers I play every time. You're absolutely right. 33, it can get in there when I start hitting a couple numbers. I'll throw in those extra ones.
Larry Bird, got to give the shout out.
Yeah, you really do. Am I playing as much Maverick McNealy as I am Aaron Wise or Russell Henley this week? I think it's close. I think projection probably, you said, has him at 11 or 12%, which I think is fair. I'll probably be slightly over that. I don't think he's eminent to win, but I also think at this value, if he makes the cut, he's got a chance to put up 100 points and finish 50th. I mean, this is just what this guy does in tournament. So you got to like him there. Kevin Streelman missed the cut the last couple of years here. I can't imagine you have any interest, but he did finish second all the way back in 2014. And then I want to ask you about Taylor Gooch. Same price as Kevin Streelman. Has something going on in Vegas this week where he's like opening like a Top Golf or helping. He's an ambassador of like a Top Golf. It's not Top Golf. Top Golf was already on the strip at MGM. So I just thought I'd bring that up as a random point. Do you want to play either of those guys this week?
Back when I was playing more volume, I had some good times at the old Top Golf machine with a couple of other people who like to gamble a little bit. It was a lot of fun. Those were good times back when it was like the grand opening. Lots of good stories, lots of good times from that. But Taylor Gooch, shout out to our Awesemo unofficial world golf rankings. Going through that the last couple of weeks, Taylor Gooch is a guy who just, the unofficial golf ranking we have for him is like 37th when he's like number 70 in the world. So there's definitely some guys behind the paywall here, and Steve Buzzard and Alex Baker, who ranked Taylor Gooch a lot higher in the world compared to what his official golf ranking is, compared to what his salary is going to be. I think that's going to put me on Taylor Gooch more than anything else. It's just kind of trusting that data. So shout out to them for that. I think that that's a really nice tool that we have over at Awesemo as well. So utilize that for sure.
All right. Let's see. It's 4:50. So it's not a super rush for us to get out of here today, but I know that, Jordan Klein doesn't want to listen to me talk for more than an hour. But beside the point,
you said it, not him.
I've got 8 names right at Taylor Gooch or below him that I like a lot this week. So I need to know who I should play. I'm going to turn to you. Then I'll rank them for you on my side. Okay. Ready? We got Mark Leishman coming off a great start. We got Patton Kizzire, who just continues to roll along. Ryan Palmer hasn't missed a cut here in 4 tries. Sahith Theegala is playing fantastic golf. Carlos Ortiz is kind of garbage. Emiliano Grillo, I can't leave out because it's Ben's guy. And then we've got a call on Richard Flower to be early in his comeback season. So I think did I give you 8 names? Luke List will top it off, coming off a really good Sunday. Tee to Green looked fantastic, has 3 good starts here when he does play good tee to green. So a lot of names there. Shift through them. Tell me who you like and who you don't.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for breaking it up and making it so easy on me. I appreciate you. I mean, good Lord. Let's just talk Sahith Theegala once more. I got to think that he's going to garner some ownership considering more than what we have him for right now. I guarantee you he gets some steam. 7,500 is a step up for him here. And, you're in a range with Kistner, who is more of a known quantity, Patton Kazire. I'm worried about this because I want to play Theegala again as well. He did get super, super wayward, but this is a golf course you can get wayward on.
That's his MO though with the driver, right? I mean, can't keep it on the planet sometimes.
So I'm absolutely going to play a lot of him so long as he's under 5%, but I am worried. And I'm going to throw out the caveat that I think he's somebody who gained some steam coming off of leading 3 rounds last week. Wish he had finished better. Somebody down here in Southern California went to Pepperdine. He's such a nice dude. Got to play a USAM qualifier with him once upon a time. And, he's just a stud. He's an absolute stud. And he's going to be a stud on the PGA Tour here going forward. Unbelievable short game. I'm looking for him to do some things going forward. But in the event that he gets to even like 7-8% in this spot, that's where, in large field stuff, I'm going to have to get away. But I don't think the ownership is going to get anywhere close to where I won't play him and at least like one of my 3 main lineups.
Well, it just goes to show you how packed this middle range is that, we haven't even moved on to the penny slots yet, and we're coming up on our time. So don't worry, we're going to get to those. But I will tell you that if you are playing the Red Sox-Yankees game tonight, our showdown single game ownership projections, those are free. So come and find out how much Rafael Devers is going to be owned, Xander Bogaerts, all those guys, Aaron Judge. At least it's 2 good teams do you have to pick from today. A lot of good players on those. So check those out. And our PGA rankings, those are also free today as part of our premium tools that we offer on the free side. So let's do a couple of more table game players, if you will. Brian Harman, 7,600 about 2 months ago. I don't know what I missed this time. You're going to have to tell me.
Jordan wants you to stop hitting your mic.
Did I hit my mic?
Yes, multiple times. Times.
Dude,
it's okay.
I should have confirmed that was definitely going to happen.
Sometimes you got to hold your co-host responsible, and so there you are, to a higher standard, if you will.
Where did he tell me this, or did he just tell you this,
or did he say it in the chat? Which
we put it in the chat.
Obviously not paying attention to.
I was looking at the spreadsheet. Sorry, it's important. Beautiful spreadsheet that I make for you.
This is the best run sheet you've ever done, Jason.
It is. I told you that before we came on.
Fact.
It really is.
In fact, nobody else cares, and we should go on.
Okay, so moving on to, you didn't tell me about Richard Flower, whether you're going to play him or not. And I'm talking about Ricky Fowler, everybody. Sorry. It's that big gap.
I know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I know you do. I don't know if everybody else does.
Oh, I don't want to. You're not going to make me, right? I don't have to.
No, of course.
Okay. Cool. So then I'm just not going to play him. That seems like the right thing to do.
Easiest
Luke List, I will play at 7,200. Okay. I believe you brought him up. Yep. Who did you say sucked? You said you don't like Carlos Ortiz?
Yeah, not a fan. I just think he's playing garbage right now.
Yeah, he's playing like garbage, but he could be good, maybe. I don't know. Carlos Ortiz, I'm going to play a little bit of. Moore is going to be popular. I think Taylor Moore is going to also garner some steam. I'm expecting some ownership to come up on some of these 7K guys, especially because of how many players above 9K just look really, really enticing. So just be on the lookout with our ownership as we're refreshing, as we get closer to lock tomorrow. I'll be on with Ben. I'll be able to kind of cover if there's anything drastic that changes. But I mean, Charles Schwartzel, even 7,300, no ownership whatsoever. I mean, sign me up for a little bit of that too in this field.
2 guys that have won recently that are also in this price range that I think should at least garner some interest, because Cam Davis, I think, profile sets up pretty well, and he's come down significantly in price. And Seamus Power is another guy that, got hot with his irons, really got hot around the green, though. He was averaging a chip in at least once a tournament, if not twice. So of those 2 recent winners that are now priced below 7,500, I'm going to guess you'd rather play Davis, but I could be wrong. Maybe you want to play neither of them.
I don't really want to play either of them.
Okay.
That probably sounds about right. You're correct. Okay. Henrik Norlander season.
Yeah, that definitely lost me my first matchup against you. Not going to lie.
1-0, baby.
Yeah,
feels nice. Feels good.
Should we run it back again? Who do we get this week?
I don't know.
What's he at?
I was going to put like Chipotle on it because that seems to be a nice wager that I always put on stuff. Like,
but I can't do that right now. I can't do that right now because last time I had Chipotle. Oh my God, I just hit my mic. I'm sorry, Jordan.
You're aware.
Yep. Apologize. Did not mean to do that. Last time I had Chipotle with my son, I had to bring my son to the hospital. So, yeah, I haven't gone since. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's.
I think you can kind of peruse what happened from eating the Chipotle to get into the hospital.
Yeah, we're gonna move on from that. I'm sorry that happened, but yeah, we'll find something else.
We'll find something else. Maybe a millionaire maker.
I mean, who's somebody that you're on that I'm not at all? I'll let you kind of be the beginner of this.
Let's go into the penny slots then to make it a little bit harder on us here. And I think there's a couple of guys down here that I at least want to talk to you about, and then maybe we can throw a bet on. First one that I think used to garner a ton of ownership and love a couple of weeks ago was Hank Lebioda. He's way down there now. I know he's regressed from that awesome form. Is there an ownership like 0% that you play him, or is he just totally off your radar now at this point?
Who is this again?
Hank.
No, I'm not playing Hank Lebioda, the luckiest putter on planet Earth. No. He's like, reminds me of every club pro ever. Like, doesn't he remind you of every club pro who's ever played golf?
I mean,
just left
scraggly,
doesn't really do anything well, but makes every putt, and you just want to punch him. Yeah, that's Hank Lebioda.
Okay. We'll move on from Hank Lebioda then. How about Adam Long? He's minimum priced. Is there a price and an ownership you'd play him at? Because it would be this week.
This would be the week. He's got a decent enough projection. This is not going to be the week that I go to a 6K player. I don't think. I don't see anything down here that I'm remotely interested in. I mean, there's obviously names you recognize. Jonas Blixt, once upon a time, a Puma guy. That's all I know about him. Bill Haas, he's won a FedEx Cup. He's 6K, but he's garbage. Now, Camilo Villegas, I guess if I'm going to play somebody at 6K, he would be the one I would click on, but my God, not excited to do so.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm that excited to click many names down here this week. Francesco Molinari is there. I can't get behind him. The Awesemo Premium Slack channel's favorite, Cameron Young. Shout out to Gang Green there. He's put him a couple of times, cashed in on him last week. Are you playing Cameron Young for back-to-back good starts, or would you rather go to like Roger Sloan, Scott Piercy?
I'd rather buy back in on Aaron Rye at 6,500. I'd rather.
Oh, don't do that to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back to him big time. This is just a spot where he's a better player than everybody else in the range. We've seen it over and over again, and
he's coming over from badly.
I know. I don't care. It was one bad tournament. He's just getting out of the gate. He's just getting his feet wet here in America. So,
all right,
fire up Aaron Rye. I'm there on him. Is that something you're still feeling scorned about too?
I am, because he played so bad. I'd rather play Keith Mitchell or Trey Mullinax at the same price. You're going to have a hard pressed time getting me to play Rye over those two guys this week.
How about Seth Reeves, who put up a top 10 last week and nobody's clicking on?
Here's the weekly. I didn't know he was a lefty, or he only putts lefty. What's going on with that? What is he a lefty?
I do not know. I just know that he got a top 10. I watched like maybe 45 minutes of golf this last weekend.
Yeah, just
NFL Sunday, baby. NFL Sunday.
Brendan Steele is priced very low and did pop last week, at least in one round. It's kind of what I'm trying to find down here. But guy that popped more than one round, 4 rounds, Hayden Buckley. This guy's stat line in recent form is like a top 5 or a miscut. So we got the top 5 last week. It's an easy fade this week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just
all right.
Don't do it.
All right, now we've got 1 minute left. We've basically said no to every single golfer under 7,000 for you and I this week.
Not true. Aaron Rye, baby.
Oh, Aaron Rye. All right. And Keith Mitchell for me.
And Trey Mullinax. We're going to play him too.
Give me 2 more names that you're going to play this week.
I'm going to play Kyung Hoon Lee. I'm going to play him down there at 6,700.
Okay. Seen a lot of that going around.
I gave you his proper name because that's what I do here. And then Steven Yeager, I swear to God, I'm going to just keep bashing my head against a wall and play this guy.
Where's he priced at this week? I didn't even know. Obviously,
6,800.
Ooh, that's definitely
trending down.
Yeah, I kind of like this spot exactly for Sahith Theegala last week. Same price. So definitely. Thing. I think it's a really good spot to click in Yeager. Okay. Anything we didn't cover, I can almost guarantee you that you and Ben will tomorrow. Can you give me a time on that yet?
Yeah, I think we'll be 4:05. I think we're probably going to be going at. I'm not positive yet here.
Nope. 6 o'clock.
Ooh.
Be there.
Ooh, 6 o'clock. Nice.
Yeah, 6 o'clock my time.
Let's do it.
3 o'clock your time.
Beautiful.
Let's see. We've got coming up after us the MLB Live Before Lock. You are going to be gracing the presence there with looks like Josh Josh
sir.
Engelman. So that'll be a fun show. Stay tuned for that. And next week, we've got the No Cut CJ Cup for all us PGA DFS fans.
PGA DFS golf fans.
So we'll leave it with that. Good luck, everybody, this week in Vegas and Sin City. We'll be back next week at the Summit Club, staying in Vegas. Good luck. We'll see you on the other side. Cheers, everybody.